Hi, folks. Some adventures are born of wanderlust and a desire to push yourself to your physical limits. Mine is born of a little bit of stupidity and a haircut. In 2001, I was traveling around Eastern Europe and was rather kind of taken by the mullet haircut, which is very, very prevalent out there. And sometime after that, I discovered that there is a village in Albania called Mullet. And I thought, wow, that's amazing. And I wondered how many other places there were out there that had the word mullet in their name. And the adventure began. The first place I attempted to get to was that Albanian village of Mullet. And in 2003, I hijacked an aid convoy to get there. And this is my colleague Pete on the right from the convoy. On our way home, we tried to get to Mullet. Well, we thought we got there. I actually discovered only years later that I'd visited the wrong village. So not a very auspicious start. So the second mullet was a little bit closer to home. This is Belmullet on the delightfully named Mullet Peninsula in the Republic of Ireland. There wasn't much there. Probably, I honestly reckon the most exciting thing to happen in Belmullet was me photographing that sign, I swear. The trip only really took on sort of epic status when I went to Australia the year after. And it was epic because there were 5 mullets out there. And it took me on a 6-week, that says creek, by the way, in case you're wondering. An epic 6-week trip up the east coast of Australia. And it was an amazing country, Australia. I loved going there. But for me, it looked mostly like this. Quiet moments alone in the middle of nowhere with a rather modest road sign that I'd travelled 12,000 miles to be with. It felt special at the time, I can promise you. Of course, you don't need to travel right all the way to the other side of the world to visit places called mullets. I mean, that would just be stupid, wouldn't it? You can find them nice and close to home, like the one in Ireland I mentioned, and also this place, Mullets Farm in Suffolk, which was reassuringly easy to get to. After that, I went to Canada, and I managed to track down a place called Mullet Creek on the outskirts of Mississauga, near Toronto. And to you, this is probably just another boring suburban road sign, but to me it was another mullet successfully ticked off. And as with my adventures in England and Australia, I'd learned to tap into the expertise of the local media, and they were able to help me out. Here's the ever-indispensable Mississauga News, who managed to rope in the local councillor to meet me and tell me a little bit more about the history of the local area. So I had a great time in Canada. It was great fun. After that, I discovered that there were 5 mullets in New Zealand, which was very exciting. It was a country I've always wanted to get to. But the thing was, the mullets were spread across the whole length of the country, end to end. And so I managed to pack New Zealand into 2 weeks, which was a bit of a struggle, but I managed it. And I don't know what this says about New Zealand, but the media there were, I think, unhealthily interested in my mission. Which was great, actually. It led to some great leads. For instance, this is Mullet Bay on Motutapu Island, a short ferry ride from Auckland. And I was contacted by the island's conservation trust saying, come along, we'll show you to Mullet Bay, but we'll make you work hard for half a day on a conservation work party. So my favourite part of New Zealand, however, was probably here. Varwell Spit, one of the largest sandbars in the world, and home to Mullet Channel. You normally can't get here because it's a nature reserve, but with the help of a tour company and TV New Zealand, I was able to get out there, which was absolutely fantastic. It was a phenomenally beautiful part of the world. This, almost in the distance, is Mullet Island in the middle of a lake in the Californian desert in the USA. And this was my second failure. I never made it. I tried writing to the local wildlife organization to see if they could help me get there, but they never replied to my emails. I can't think why. I think I probably scared them. But no matter, being in the desert was phenomenal, and I'd never been in a desert before, and the stillness and the sense of peace was overwhelming. And this place, Salvation Mountain, just plonked in the middle here. It's basically built out of clay and paint. It was quite a surreal reward for making it into the middle of the desert. And that's, I think, one of the best things about traveling and adventure. You get to go to places you wouldn't expect to discover. And conversely, another great thing that I've gained is the ability to go to places I've always wanted to get to, like New Zealand. And another thing I think I've gained is some unusual holidays. I have a fairly normal job, but I've managed to be able to go to some, some unusual places, some out-of-the-way places, and indeed some excellent places. That's what I've gained. What have I learned? Well, firstly, I've learned that help is never too far away, and that local media will print absolutely anything. Which is just as well, because the second thing I've learned is that everybody loves an idiot. When I appeared in a local paper in New South Wales, Australia, a guy wrote to me saying, "Fantastic, I live on the shores of Mullet Creek, come stay with me for a couple of nights." And this is a view from his backyard, from his farm. In response to the same article, a woman got in touch and said, "My husband has a mullet, we want to meet you and have our photo taken with you." I met them, they were lovely people, but I'm not going to show the photo of the mullet haircut, because frankly it was quite hideous. Another thing I've learned is that it's an amazing world out there. It's a phenomenally beautiful world, and it's just worth kind of getting out there and finding a reason, if you need a reason, and just going for it. The mission's only halfway through as we speak. I've still got plenty more to go in the USA, and also mullets in the likes of Bermuda and Haiti, which will be a challenge, and also the Falkland Islands, which I'm looking forward to get to. But basically, overall, I've learned that it's perfectly easy to follow your dream. It's perfectly easy to have fun. All you need is an idea, the desire, maybe a little bit of saving. But as long as you've got an idea, you can have an adventure. Who knows where you'll end up? Thanks very much.